Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast. Hope you're all having a lovely day so far. And as always, I hope I'm about to make it a little bit more informed and a little bit brighter and a little bit lighter. Just before we get into this podcast, all on supplements, you're probably going to see me, if you're watching this, poking my eye. So I actually had LVLs done yesterday, and I just looked in the mirror and I was like, what is that on my eyelash? I had like a little clump about 3 seconds before pressing start. And then I just pressed start and was like, wow, I can still feel it. Anyway, I hate that I can't get lashes done anymore. I used to love having my lashes done. Don't know about anyone else. Oh my God, no, genuinely, this is so annoying. But don't know about anyone else. I got an allergic reaction after about a year of having them done. All of a sudden, one day, woke up, looked like Hitch. Eyes closing over, dry skin. So obviously took all my eyelashes off. I actually thought it was an initial reaction to my hair dye, but it wasn't. It was the eyelashes. Anyway, so now I get LVLs. Just not the same effect. Lovely, just not the same effect. Right, shall we get into it then? So, supplements 101. And again, say this all the time. How have I not done a episode on supplements? Baffles me. So I wanted to do this today, and we're not obviously going to go through the A to Z of supplements like ridiculous. We'll be here all day, but we are going to do a summary of. We're going to do a summary of why people look for supplements, why we shouldn't really look for supplements as the answer, but also the positives that some supplements can do, the ones I take, the ones that the majority of my clients take, and we'll dig into them to see if they can help you as well. So, first off then, supplements do exactly what they say on the tin. They supplement or they add into the foundations that are already there. Okay, so I do not want you taking any recommendation off me on here if you are already not nailing the basics. Now, my guess is if you are here, hello, you have listened to some of my podcasts before, you will know what I'm about, and you will know the foundations of fat loss, of results, of being, at peak health, mentally and physically, comes down to our diet, our daily movement, our water intake, our sleep quality, our stress levels. Like, unless all of them are in place, like, the supplements are not going to do that job. Okay, that is something to be so clear about. And again, if anyone ever signs up with me as a client, on our first few weeks, I never even talk about supplements because they're not even on the radar unless we're doing all them other things. Okay, the reason why people like to look for supplements, because how fucking much easier is it to pop a pill, or the current trend now, jab a pen with this bloody Ozempic thing, whatever it's going around, rather than doing your steps, tracking your food. Okay, it's easier, but it is not worth it in the long run. Okay, it is not worth it from a health point of view, from a financial point of view. Like, yeah, it's just not worth it. So do the basics, then we'll look at the supplements. Okay, but we covered last week, if you haven't listened to it, my fat loss fails, all of the shit that I've tried in the past. So all of the fat burners, the pills, the teas, what you would find under health supplements if you were looking for them on the net. How old am I? If you were looking for them on the internet, you would find them there. That's not what we're covering today. Today we're going to cover how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4 top supplements, and that I would recommend if you are already doing them basics that may be able to help you out. Okay, so the first one we're going to cover is probably the most well-known. Some people call it a supplement, some people don't. I do, okay? And it's protein, okay? So we've got protein. You can get Impact protein. You can get, I haven't obviously got this written down. Impact protein is the MyProtein one. That's what I want to say. So you've got whey protein, you've got whey protein isolate, and then you've got your things like your pea protein, your soy protein, all stuff like that. Today, I am going to talk about whey protein, okay, because that is the most researched one. It's the one that's been about the longest. It's the cheapest one, and it is the one that is closest to our DNA, because whey protein is an animal DNA protein, animal protein. Okay, if you are vegan or whatever, yeah, vegan, I haven't actually researched that much into vegan proteins, I'll be honest, so this probably might not help you out, but the research that we get from whey protein that comes from an animal source is boss. Now, the reason I call it a supplement is because I always recommend to my clients to get your protein from whole sources first, okay? Your things like your meats, your fish, your lean meats, your fish, your yogurts, your cheeses, all the stuff like that that is a whole complete food. I always recommend to get it from there first, purely for the fact that it's a food, okay? It gets you building meals better. It gets you thinking about, has this meal got protein in, which is the way that we actually want to live our life, okay? But that being said, adding in a protein shake, I have a protein shake daily, like post-workout, pre-workout, if I'm feeling a bit hungry, is a great way to top up your protein levels. So we've got whey protein. We've also now got, which is like a dairy texture. We've also now on the market got clear whey, which again, I think is a phenomenal invention. It just is like a juice. Like a juice / jelly. So I actually have tried it. I just like my standard whey. I do it in my shaker. Chocolate, yummy. It's like having a chocolate milkshake, right? But I have tried some clear wheys. I think it tastes a little bit like jelly. I mean, maybe I was not shaking it right, but I was like, oh, it's very sweet. So if you like a juice drink, it's great to add in. It's not like a meal, but it is going to help you get your protein in. So yeah, they're the two that I recommend to my clients. Okay, so I do recommend them getting protein from whole food first and then supplementing with this. So protein, what does it do? So it does the same. Protein as a supplement is what it does as a meal as well, okay? It fills us up. It balances our blood sugar levels. It promotes good recovery from workouts. When we get good recovery, we then get stronger. When we get stronger, we get more lean muscle tissue. Remember what I said at the very beginning is that the protein, we've got protein in our body. Our muscles, our skin is made up of protein. So by adding more protein in, that's what we're doing. We're doing the rebuild and we're doing the repair of what our workouts are. When we're doing our workouts, we're obviously, maybe you don't know this, but we're actually making micro tears in our muscles. The rebuild of that muscle via protein is what gives us that more lean toned look and makes us stronger, because the muscle gets stronger, it gets denser. So not only do we physically get stronger, but we look leaner as well. In case you didn't know that, that's what happens. And that's why we all bang on about protein, because it's the rebuild and the repair of our muscle tissues that we need to get them results. So that's why protein is a really good supplement if you struggle to get it in volume. Again, for me, I can definitely hit my protein without having a shake, because it just comes down to increasing your portion sizes. But a lot of people that I know, especially my girls who come in the Fit and Six, really struggle with comprehending, oh my gosh, I can eat that much protein. Like, for example, yogurt is the number one. When I start telling people how amazing Greek yogurt is, which is like my number one for protein, I love it. And I'm like, right, to start eating protein, you start eating yogurt and they're having like 80 grams, 90 grams. I'm like, no, start having 250 grams. They're like, what? I can have 250 grams. So for me, always start with, before you start looking at supplementing protein, can you increase your portion sizes in your meals of protein? And then you can start adding in a clear whey or a shake, which are great for being on the go as well, by the way. So I'm just having a coffee this morning because I'm just going straight to the gym after this podcast. So cheers. So protein's the first one and the most, renowned one. Some little myth busting then on protein. Is it going to make you bulky? No. Is it just for men? No, definitely not. Okay, it's not illegal. It's not going to make you bulky. It's definitely not for men. Here's a little side note for you. Remember Slim Fast, or when shake diets were a thing? All they were was with protein shakes with a massively higher price tag. That's all they were. So obviously we're not swapping meals for shakes, but we can definitely use it to add it in. And then just one more point on this. I need to stick to the script, girls, because this is why my podcast takes so long. A protein shake for me isn't a meal, and I would never recommend it to my clients. It's not a meal, okay? When we talk about meals, and it doesn't just come to calories in, right, and calories out and hitting your protein. When we sit, our whole thing of digesting a meal and our brain registering we're having a meal goes through things like prepping the food, picking up the food, chewing the food, breaking the food down. Like, that is what your brain registers as having a meal. Now, a lot of the time, and again, why these shake diets don't work, is people say, oh yeah, for my breakfast, I have a shake. For my lunch, I have a shake. And then for dinner, I eat the whole fucking kitchen cupboards because I'm starving. And it's because they're not meals. Your body isn't going through that full process of, I've made this food, I'm chewing this food, I'm eating this food, okay? That is all part and parcel of how your body registers, I've had a meal, okay? So that's why, again, I don't recommend having a shake purely. So again, this morning for my breakfast, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but I had a protein shake and a bowl of oats. So I'm making sure that, yes, I'm getting my protein in, it's part of my meal, but it isn't my whole meal. So just remember that before you start thinking, oh, I'm smashing it, I have a protein shake for breakfast. Have something with it. Have something that you have to chew that is a bit more substantial in your stomach. Okay, we've covered protein. It's a good one. The next one then, okay, so this is the big one, and this is the one where I'm going to reference in my notes because there is so much information on it, okay? So the next one is an omega-3 supplement, okay? Now, we have probably heard of cod liver oil, omega-3, 6, and 9, but actually, the next supplement I am going to talk about is just omega-3. Let me show you mine. I wonder if anyone actually watches this. Okay, so omega-3, you can see here, this is the one that I take, super strength omega-3, and it looks very similar, oh, the power of recording, to a cod liver oil, but it's not, okay? So I'm not going to go into the whole separate saga of fats. I've actually already done a podcast on fats that you can listen to, but let's just zone in on omega-3 and what it is, okay? So omega-3 is found in the majority of our foods, especially hundreds, thousands of years ago when preservatives weren't invented. Okay, the problem that we have now is that omega-3 used to be a lot higher in our bodies and in our food because we didn't have preservatives. Now, omega-3 makes our food like fresh and it oxidizes our food, but that also means food goes off quicker when it's got high content of omega-3. So now a lot of production people take omega-3 out of our food. So that is why our diet is less. They leave the omega-6 in. Now, your body does need both omega-6 and omega-3, but we already have enough omega-6 in our diet. We don't have enough omega-3. That is why I'm saying to you, I am recommending omega-3 over omega-3, 6, and 9. We're all good for that stuff, okay? So omega-3 then, what does it do? Let me list this off. So first and foremost, it's an anti-inflammatory. Okay. Now, bearing in mind what I just said, we need inflammatory in our body to a certain context, and omega-6 does that, but we have enough of that. Okay. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. Now, if we don't have omega-3 to balance out the inflammatory that's going on in our body, because inflammatory does protect us, but too much of it is not good for us. It's where a lot of diseases stem from, and that is why we want to be keeping our omega-3 levels topped up to balance that out. Okay. So omega-3 is our anti-inflammatory, okay? It also works with our hormones to decrease our sugar cravings. So this is where we compare it into fat loss. Like, why is it good for fat loss? Okay, so sugar cravings, it's an anti-inflammatory. It can reduce PMS. It's really good for brain health, reduce risk of Alzheimer's. That is a big one of why I also promote taking omega-3, and I take omega-3 as well. Really good for that cognitive brain function. It's good for our joint health, our bone health, improves our sleep, our skin health. And the bottom line is, there's some studies as well that can show supplementing with omega-3 can help prevent cancer. Now, obviously, with these studies, there's probably going to be studies that come out and not necessarily counteract it, but there's research on everything. So I always look for, when I'm doing these pods, I always look for the research and look for what it's more for, rather than, oh, there was one research on study on this and then the others were opposed to it. There are a lot of research into all of that stuff that I've just listed to say this is what it's great for, okay? And there's more positives and there are not necessarily negatives, but going against the positives. And I've taken omega-3 for years, and for me as a woman as well, the PMS thing, I noticed a difference of taking it. And I don't want to push my experience onto you, but I'm just letting you know, girls who have come to me with severe PMS, clients, and I've said, right, shall we try, omega-3s? They've noticed a difference. So again, I just think that the amount of benefits that it does, and knowing that it is massively reduced in our foods, in our diet as a Western diet, that is why I recommend taking omega-3 as a supplement. If you're nailing a really good diet, like a healthy diet, you're getting your veggies in, you're getting your fish in, you're getting your meats in, then yes, supplement omega-3, because the likelihood is you're still not getting enough out of that. Okay, so that's omega-3. That's a big one. I think that's quite an intense one to understand, because again, might be taking cod liver oil and thinking, oh yeah, this is great, but solely omega-3, as I said, the omega-6 we get in our diet, but the omega-3 is the one that needs to be topped up for all them health benefits. Okay, next one then is vitamin D3. So you may have heard this one, like this is vitamin D is what we get from sunshine. Obviously, we live in freaking England where it's barely sunny, and actually now we're getting about 3 hours of daylight. I said this to Ollie last night. I was like, because I like going on my morning walk, don't I? And it's been really not shit, but not as good as it was in summer, because I like going out when it's dawn. You know, you can see the sunrise, the lights come through. When I normally walk at 6 a.m., it was pitch black. It's like being on the Titanic. Go outside, stars, breath, black, bleak. And I come home and I'm like, oh, well, I've done my walk, but I don't really feel like I've been out in the day. Anyway, I went out a little bit earlier this morning. It was a bit better. No, it was nicer, but it just messed my routine up. Anyway, less about me, more about vitamin D3. So we live in England. We don't get that much sunlight. Okay, so we're not getting optimal levels of vitamin D3, which is what we get from sunlight. So we should be supplementing it. And especially, again, this was a study that I was reading about, especially coming into the winter. So the biggest thing for me that I take vitamin D3 for is it regulates our mood and can reduce risk of like depression or symptoms of depression and anxiety. So we all know, because I did the episode on how to handle the darker days, I actually spoke about vitamin D3 in that episode, is that when it's darker and it's colder, we do feel a little bit less motivated. We do feel a little bit moodier, a little bit grumpier. Like even me, I'm quite a positive person, but going on my morning walks in the pitch black, I was a bit like, you know? So, I mean, what is that? It's not even a word, is it? But you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so the biggest reason I take vitamin D3 is regulate mood and improve motivation, reduce feelings of like depression, anxiety, stuff like that. So that's why I take it. But it also has been proven to support our immune system, and some research has shown it can support fat loss. And there's two reasons I want to touch on this. Not because it is a magic vitamin that does fat burning. So the first one is it's been linked that people with obesity have got lower vitamin D3 levels. People that are lower body weight have higher vitamin D3 levels. Therefore, if we are feeling, the symptoms of maybe lacking in vitamin D3, like I said, like feeling demotivated, feeling a bit sluggish, feeling a little bit down, like we know we're not getting that light in, supplement it, and you're trying to lose fat, I would probably recommend looking into supplement it, so you are, and you'll just see how you get on with it, see if you can see the difference. And we're going to touch on taking supplements and how long in a second. And the second one then is vitamin D3 has been researched into proving insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity is how good your body is at when you take on food, at how good your body is at using it versus storing it. Okay. So when we have got good insulin sensitivity, your body is very reactive into using that food as energy. When we have got low insulin sensitivity, your body is better at storing it than using it. Insulin sensitivity is a whole other episode that we need to get into, but that's the basis. So vitamin D3 can help improve our insulin sensitivity, which is why it can be better, which is why it's been researched to help with weight loss. Okay, that was that one. I'm hoping you're finding this useful, guys. Please drop me a message if you do, and if you've got any questions so far. I feel like, I don't know why today I feel like I'm doing a presentation, like interactive. Obviously I'm not, I'm in my office on my own. Okay, last one then. Favorite one for me at the moment, and again, something I take every day, recommend my clients take, is creatine monohydrate. I actually did an Instagram on this not so long ago about the benefits, and trying to get all of this information into a 9-second fucking reel was solid. And I'm not even joking, it probably took me about 2 hours to do a 9-second reel. What is Instagram life, hey? Okay, so creatine monohydrate. This currently is the most upcoming researched supplement there is, because they are seeing how much it is benefiting everybody. Okay, so not just people who work out, which is totally what it used to be marketed at, and you'll find out why in a second. But now they are looking into pregnancy, children, older people, and they are finding out actually this is really beneficial for everyone. So creatine is actually a naturally occurring substance in our body. Okay, so that is the first thing to remember. It's already in our body. By topping this up, we are just increasing the benefits of what we already get from it. Okay, so the benefits that we get, the number one is it gives us more energy. Okay, but also it helps us recover from workouts. It makes us feel stronger. It can help us sleep better. Improves our cognitive function. But the biggest one I'm going to talk about is how we relate this into how it supports our physical results. Okay, so as I said, it increases our energy. Okay, so when we take creatine monohydrate, it actually hydrates our muscles more. So when our muscles are hydrated, they work better, they recover better. Therefore, that means we have more effort and more energy to go and put into them workouts to perform better. Now, if we're performing better and we are going to get better results in the gym, we then know that is going to lead to stronger muscles, leaner muscles. What do leaner muscles lead to? Leaner muscles lead to increased metabolic rate. What does increased metabolic rate lead to? Your body burning calories at a more efficient way, which is going to leave you with better fat loss results. Mic drop. Okay, so honestly, I just don't even know why I laugh like on my own. Just you'd think someone else here. So that is why creatine for me is just I should have started with this one, but I feel like I want to end with a banger. If you are working out in any context, okay, so not just lifting weights in the gym, but if you are a runner, if you are a rower, if you are a gymnast, anyone a gymnast out there? But any type of performance that you are doing, creatine is going to only make you feel better at that. Okay. Again, though, if you're not training and you're just looking to be healthier, creatine is probably going to help you. It's going to increase your energy levels to, just be a bit brighter, be a bit more on your feet, go faster on your walks, improve your brain function for work. So some questions here that I normally get asked around creatine is, I've heard it can make the scale weight go up. Yes. Step back and look at the logic, okay? If creatine is hydrating our muscles with more water, we all know if I stood on the scales and let's say it said 100, I'm just using easy numbers, then I drank half a litre of water, is that number going to go up or down? It's going to go up because I'm more hydrated. That's it. That is all you need to go, okay, and move on. And not be like, oh, I don't want to get better fat loss results. I don't want to feel stronger and I don't want to perform better because I might put 2 pounds on the scales. Okay, so scale weight, creatine hydrates us more. It can make the scales go up a little bit more. Okay, that will level out. It's not like they keep going up and up and up. Okay, once that creatine is in your system, remember to talk about that now. Once that creatine is in your system, your scale weight is going to level out and your results will keep coming. Okay. When we're taking creatine, follow the instructions in the pack, but it's anywhere between 3 to 5 grams every single day. Training day, not training day, taking a week off day, take the creatine, okay? Goes in a little bit of water, make sure you are super hydrated. Again, a little caveat here of what I started this episode with. If you are not drinking your water, doing your steps, eating good food, doing stuff, getting your sleep and managing your stress levels, taking any of these supplements is not going to touch your sides because these are, imagine the puzzle of our health. These little bits are like the borders that finish the puzzle. The big pieces are all of that other stuff: your food, your water, your stress, your sleep, your mental health. They are the big bits. These are just like the finishing pieces. Okay, that is what I want you to remember on this. So 3 to 5 grams, plenty of water, take it whatever time of day that you want that you're going to remember. And the positives are there. Okay, so when we talk about supplements, this is like this is like the shortest episode that we've done in a long time, but hey, I'm here for it. When we talk about taking supplements then, as I said before, the clue is in the name, it's supplement. You are not going to take omega-3 fish oils for a week and be like, I feel like a fucking new person. They don't work like that, okay? They are doing like an internal job. Okay, vitamin D3 over a period of maybe like 4 or 5 weeks of taking it consistently, you might feel like, actually, I do feel a bit better in myself, you know, and I am feeling a little bit brighter, or I was getting loads of colds and now I'm not, maybe something like that. But they're not going to have this huge, profound effect. The huge, profound effect is coming from the big jigsaw puzzle pieces. That was a tongue tire. The big, profound effects are coming from, if I said, if you're not doing any steps at the moment and you were like, right, I'm going to do a walk or take vitamin D3, I'd be like, right, cool, go for your walk. That is the one you're going to feel that woo effect from. Okay. So, but these can help, as I said, with the things that I've gone through today. If you're doing all that and you're just looking to take it that extra bit further to look after your health, they are the ones that I would recommend. Whey protein or clear whey, omega-3 fish oils, vitamin D3, and creatine monohydrate. They are the ones that I take every day. Now, it goes without saying, please do your own research, okay? Read the packaging. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a subscriber. I'm here giving you my own personal experience of my research and what I do. I think I just have to say this to like cover my back. If you have any questions on any of these supplements, please send them over. Maybe I'll do like a part 2 Q&A. But yeah, just remember they do supplement a healthy lifestyle. Make sure you've got that nailed first. Okay. They don't, you're not going to wake up in 3, 4, 5 weeks and be like, oh my God, it's definitely because I've taken that. The one that you are probably over a period of like 4 to 6 weeks going to feel a benefit from is the creatine, because you are going to feel more power in your workout. You're going to be more hydrated. You might look a little bit more defined because your muscles are hydrated. That's probably the one that I would say, okay, you're probably going to notice that the most. But again, you are not going to wake up like Hulk Hogan after taking it for one day. Or ever, you're not going to wake up like Hulk Hogan just from taking creatine. Okay, so yeah, that is where we're at. Okay, that was a good one. I'm off the gym. Thanks for listening. Any Q&As, send them over to me on Instagram at _em.powered, and I will see you next time. Always grateful for you giving me your time to listen. Love you, bye.